Now, 10 days ago, we told you the story of Mafi Akukokpo, a community in the Central Tong district of the Volta region, where residents are forced to drink from muddy water sources they share with animals because of the absence of clean drinking water. This report was filed by Joseph Okpokugakpo. Take a look at it again in the stock after.
Residents here, old and young, men and women, on daily basis, walk for some 15 minutes to get to the nearest water source. This is how the water looks like. Unclean, brownish, muddy, as thick as porridge. Sticks and tree branches lie in them with bubbles brewing all over it. Felicia, a mother of 4, stands in the mud as she stretches her hand and fetches from the deep source into her basin. A large chunk of what she fetches is actually mud. But guess what? They drink it like that, without any form of treatment.
It
was basically saying that this is the only source of water they have over here, and when they fetch it, they'll send it home and they use it to cook. They drink it, do everything with only this water.
Back home, Felicia and her children pour the mud into their huge storage bin. They are grateful they at least have some water to use for their house chores. They will not even allow for the mud to settle before they go fetch it to use for washing of dishes and cooking. Felicia's daughter Sylvia says they don't have a choice.
What are you able to do with the water?
We use it to cook. We use it to wash our things. We drink it.
Aren't you afraid this may cause you any illness?
But it is only this water that we have.
What do you want done about this? What would you want to change?
We want the government to bring us another water.
What kind of water would you have that?
Pipe-borne water.
If water is truly life, as they say, then these residents obviously deserve better than this. For JoyNews, Joseph Okpokugakpo reporting.
So Joseph Okpokugakpo is here. Joseph, how did you locate this community?
We traveled there just following up on situations having to do with the availability of basic amenities generally. And this was one of the communities that my attention was drawn to, that they have poor roads, they don't have electricity, they didn't have a clean source of water. So it was the general complaint about how underdeveloped this community was that came to attention, and then we followed up there, got to Adidome, which is the district capital, and then continued there on very terrible roads, to get to this particular community.
Tell us more about how residents cope. Clearly, there were a lot of things you saw that could not be captured in that story.
Yes, so there are concerns about the absence of electricity, and particularly with the issue of the absence of electricity. It's come up before. This is a community with a lot of active citizens, if I could put it so. So on 15 June 2017, there was a petition that had gone to the office of the president himself, having to do with the unavailability of electricity in a number of those areas, and some of the areas having very terrible connection. And the petition that had actually gone was signed by several residents, about 30 of them from communities in the enclave. And it was copied to the senior minister, it was copied to the energy minister, and essentially they were requesting for the extension of electricity to some of those communities. Some of them said that they had benefited from a self-help electrification program in 2015, but then the connection hadn't been done. The point being that Mafi Akukokpo, the residents there, had previously even petitioned the president alongside residents in a number of other communities in the enclave, Mafi Mataheko, Mafi Seva, requesting for the extension of electricity back in 2017, which till date hasn't been done. So the electricity problem is a very crucial one. The residents again tell me that with reference to the water, they had previously petitioned the district assembly, that they didn't have water. And following the story that came up in the national conversation that's gone up, the assembly member for the area, he tells me, had been asked to make an official request for a pipe-borne water and also a tank in order to supply the water. And so a fresh petition has gone to the District Assembly dated the 16th of August 2018, which is just last week, requesting for the extension of pipe-borne water.
This was after we aired
the report. And the Assembly member tells me that officials from the Assembly indicated that they would have to put in an official request, requesting for some of these basic amenities. So this comes under the head and request for extension of pipe-borne water to the Mafi Akukokpo community. And they're asking for two things. Asking for pipe-borne water, but then in the interim, they say they need a tank, until the pipe-borne water is
And how do they hope to get potable water into that tank?
So the explanation they give me is that, and let me quote directly from the petition that they send. They say they are requesting that pipe-borne water is connected to the community from a nearby one, Mafi Akukokpo, which I'm told is like 30 minutes away, where pipe-borne water has been extended to Mafi Akukokpo. So they think that if the effort is made, they can connect to them from Mafi Akukokpo, and then they would be able to have pipe-borne water in Akukokpo as well.
All right. Well, the district chief executive of the area, Thomas Moore, became the first government official to visit the village since 1992. He promised the people of Mafi Akukokpo potable water today, Monday, August 20, 2018. Joseph, so hopefully we'll get a reaction from this DC on whether he's able to achieve this promise.
Sure. So the major complaint has been that he explains that the road network to the area is terrible, and I can attest to that. Getting to the community is very difficult. So the opening has been done, but then it's muddy, and the complaint is that usually when it rains, then it's difficult to get access to the community. So the district chief executive has explained that that has been their major difficulty in terms of getting equipment to the area. Mainly his focus has been on getting a borehole to them, which he says anytime they try to move equipment there, then it becomes a problem. Even moving the polytank, a tank there, he tells me they've gone ahead to procure a tank for the community, but because of the poor nature of the road, it's been difficult to get a vehicle big enough to be able to move through the mud at this time that they've seen a bit of rains, to deliver the tank to the area. But he tells me in the interim, they're supplying them with some sachet water, which it will be easy to get to the community, so that then they would use that
on the same roads that cannot that they cannot ply to deliver a tank or set up a borehole.
He explains it as such because those are in limited quantities in terms of the water that is being sent to the area, and these are not as heavy as the earth drilling equipment they will need to dig the borehole, and are not as heavy as the tank that they will deliver there in order to supply the water. So he says effective today, the sachet water will be delivered, and then in the next few weeks they would go ahead and get the tank there and subsequently drill a borehole for them. But the residents say they think pipe-borne water
is the best.
Would rather be a better option than even drilling the borehole, because they can be too sure what the water table levels are in that particular enclave.
Thank you very much, Joseph Akukokpo. Great work, and hopefully we'll be able to get them some good water. I don't know if the DC spoke about trying to fix the road first, and maybe then we can get potable water to the people.
He's mentioned that as well, but the point being that all these works would have to be done appropriately when we don't have a lot of rains and there isn't mud on the road. So as to how come they hadn't delivered the borehole, he said yes, the contract had been awarded for the road, and then the borehole. There's a bit of a back and forth, but
on that matter.
We'll see how that pans out.
Well, definitely we will see how that goes. Thank you very much, Joseph. Great work done again.